Okay, we're back. And yun, Congressman, sa tingin nyo, even the peace negotiators realize that, you know, that the demands or the BBL itself is already infirmed. Yeah. So they're even exploring the possibility of, in fact, amending the Constitution.
These are professors who are ignorant of the law.
Oh, but these people come from
Constitution.
Oh, but they have a badge of because they're from UP also.
I do not care if they're from UP. Not everyone in UP is actually knowledgeable. Some of the UP graduates are even dumb.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a UP graduate, and I'm so glad I'm not.
Oo.
You see? But the thing is, these people are not speaking for the Filipino people. Just like what you've said. Ang question mo kanina, were the people in Mindanao consulted? They were not consulted.
Yes.
Most of the people, I was in Mindanao 3 times, no? Most of the people, they do not even know what the BBL is.
Yes.
I do not know.
And I will second that. No? When I had here Archbishop Arguelles, he seconded and shared with us that si Archbishop Kapalya pala, who leads the Ulama and the Christian groupment, was not even consulted by the peace process. And this is a very important group, no? Yung Ulama and Christian, and hindi sila nakonsulta.
Alam mo, nakakatakot dito, Eric.
Yes.
The BBL, what is the provisions put in there,
Yes.
is actually a prelude to the ultimate cessation
Okay.
of the Bangsamoro people. They want to separate. The thing is, tama yung sanabi mo eh. Ako, ang aking feeling dito, bakit nakikialam ang Malaysia?
Okay.
Bakit kinakailangan that the peace negotiation should be in Kuala Lumpur?
Okay.
This is an internal problem. It must be done here in Luzon. The peace negotiation should be done in the Philippines.
Yes.
Not anywhere. Not in any country. Because this is an internal problem.
Nakangiti si Abe kasi may kinuwento na siya sa akin pero hindi ko po nasasabihin. Ferdy, sa palagay mo, bakit nakikialam ang Malaysia dito? At anong nangyayari? Bakit napakalapit ng relasyon ng itong administrasyon na ito sa Malaysia? At siguro naman ito si Delas at Ferrer ay hindi kumikilos na gano'n kung walang nagkukumpas.
Well, may mga information na nakakarating sa atin na itong sina Deles at Ferrer ay highly influenced by the United States, especially the United States Institute of Peace or USIP.
Okay.
As early as 2008, in a special report by the USIP, they are already advocating a constitutional amendment. Ang tanong, bakit ang Amerika ay nanghihimasok sa internal affair ng Pilipinas? At ito naman sa Malaysia, hindi naman lingid sa ating kaalaman na maging si Senator Sumulong na lolo ng ating Pangulo ngayon ay nag-speech sa Senado nung araw na ang Sabaraw ay sa Malaysia at sa Britain. At napilitan niyang tumayo si Senator Salonga noon at tinanong, Senator Sumulong, aren't you a Filipino? Why are you siding with the Malaysians and the British? And recently, sinabi ng ating mahal na Pangulo na siya ay all expenses paid by the Malaysian government, yung pagpunta niya sa recent trip niya sa Malaysia. At nakita natin doon, nag-cut siya ng ceremonial ribbon ng Petron. Yung Petron, tila may kamag-anak yata ang ating mahal na Pangulo na stockholder ng Petron. So baka naman, ang tanong ng ilan, baka nakakloud yung judgment because of some business interest. So sana naman hindi totoo ito, no? Pero yan po ang kinakatakot ngayon ng ating bansa na bakit binibigyan ng isang bansa? Kasi pag bansa, country yan eh. You are creating a new country in Asia. Samantalang nakalagay sa ating konstitusyon, malinaw na malinaw, autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao lamang ang pinapayagan. At nakasulat doon sa ating konstitusyon, which I say is sacred because it is from the Filipino people. Hindi pwede yung sinasabi lang ni Ferrer at saka ni Deles o ng USIP o ng Malaysia. Yung kagustuhan ng Filipino people, the sacred constitution says that only the first Congress of the Philippines after the ouster of Marcos ang gagawa ng organic act on the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. Yung succeeding congresses can only amend that organic act. This is an entirely different organic act from that enacted by the first Congress after Marcos.
Yes.
So this violates the Constitution. Isa pa, binibigyan ng sariling teritoryo ang panibagong bansa ay labag po yan sa Constitution. Bakit po nakikialam dito ang Malaysia? Simpleng-simple. dahil gusto nilang makalimutan ang Sabah at gusto nilang makamkam ang langis, ang natural gas at uranium dyan sa lugar na yan.
If this was Indonesia, if Indonesia was the third party judge in this case, hindi papayagan na gamitin ng bangsa siguro. No?
Ay, malinaw na malinaw po. Kung tayo hindi bobo na mga graduate sa UP, hindi ko naman sinasabi na lahat ng graduate sa UP ay bobo, pero may mga graduate dyan na bobo. Kung tayo po'y nagbabasa ng history, malinaw po doon sa negotiation sa 1996 Final Peace Agreement, ay humadlang ang Indonesia sa tawag na Bangsamoro sapagkat ang salitang bangsa ay country or state. Ang Indonesia po mismo ay humadlang dyan. Bakit? Ang Indonesia po inagawan din ng teritoryo ng Malaysia. Kaya nagkaroon sila ng konfrontasi. At ang Indonesia ay meron ding separatist movement na ang hinala nila ay Malaysia din ang nasa likod. Kaya ayaw nila ng gagawa ng panibagong bangsa. Eh, malinaw na malinaw po yan. Bangsamoro. Sa English po, bangsa is state. Ang Moro po, it connotes Islamic. You are creating an Islamic state in Southeast Asia, kaya ayaw ng Indonesia.
At tapos, mukhang sa Thailand yata, meron ding Malay and Buddhist insurrection, ano? 3 or 4 provinces, no?
Hinahamon natin ang Malaysia. Kung maganda ang Bangsamoro Basic Law, magtayo kayo ng Bangsa Chinese Basic Law dyan sa Malaysia, Bangsa Indian Basic Law dyan sa Malaysia, sapagkat ang Malaysia po ay merong Chinese, substantial Chinese population, substantial Indian population. At ang Britain, na nagsasabi na maganda ang Bangsamoro Basic Law, gumawa kayo ng Bangsa Scotland Basic Law, kung talagang maganda yan. Eh bakit ayaw ninyo? Ang Amerika, gumawa kayo ng Bangsa Hawaiian Natives Basic Law. Bakit ayaw ninyo? Kung talagang maganda yan.
Okay. Abe, did the Aquino government attempt to consult with you, try to consolidate your demands? And they are always saying that Sabah is a different issue from the BBL, that it should be treated separate. And yet, ang palagi nilang sinasabi, yun nga, this will be a comprehensive peace agreement. This will be the final peace agreement which will engineer lasting peace.
Well, as far as the Sultanate of Sulu is concerned, Eric, despite that the Sultanate, through the Office of the Secretary General, was invited
Yes.
as lecturer on the question how far is the influence of the MILF in the archipelago of Sulu.
Yes.
That was prior to their Tokyo trip
Yes.
to hold their meeting between the Philippine government and the MILF. No consultation was ever given to the Sultanate of Sulu. Now, how much more of the issue of Sabah? Because one question raised by President Aquino at the height of the Sabah stand-up, sino ba sila makaangkin ng ganong kalaking lupa sa Sabah? Oh, that was the question raised by the President. Now, because as far as the President is concerned, walang halaga sa kanya ang historical events. Now, for instance, what Nate was saying a while ago, how does this United States Institute for Peace came into this situation? With due apology, nakasulat dito, this was a letter
Yes.
written by the MILF.
Okay.
Oh, if I may show
Pakita
Eric,
natin, i-close up natin yan, no? Yan.
written in 2002.
Okay.
Now, invoking Eric,
Yes.
the Kiram Beach Agreement.
Okay.
Now, as far as, again, agreements, treaty relations were concerned, Kiram Beach Agreement is an agreement between the United States of America and the Sultanate of Sulu, comprising all the area of Basilan, Sulu, Tawi-Tawi, Zamboanga Peninsula, and Palawan.
Okay.
Now, but here, the MLF was invoking about the protectorate status. Now, the protectorate status was only given to the Sultanate of Sulu. And my apology, never to other sultanates in mainland Mindanao.
Correct.
So, in order to justify the presence of the United States of America for its intervention in the peace process, the MILF, without seeking, notification to late Sultan Jamalul Kiram III, utilized this letter as the basis of inviting the attention of the United States of America to render their moral obligation on the Moro people.
I'll ask you this question, Abe, no? Assuming that the Bangsamoro state is created in that area. Mahati ang Bangsamoro sa Pilipinas. Do you think it can survive long, separate from the Republic, subjected to political, economic, and military threat? Given the smallness of the territory, when you're talking about all the forces, the gravitational forces that will impinge because of the rich natural resources over that area, can this state long survive with US, Malaysian, Japanese, etc., etc.?
It can.
It cannot?
It cannot. Because as far as, again, the Sultanate of Sulu is concerned, they don't like the word Bangsamoro.
Yes.
In fact, if we go back to 1968, after the eruption of the Jabida massacre,
Yes.
this was the first time the Bangsamoro word was coined by Malaysia, on instigation of Malaysia.
Yes.
How? In order to unite the Muslim in the Philippines, to forget their respective tribes.
Yes.
Now, with the aim kuno of seceding Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan. Now, so that Muslim people look at that issue as a patriotic act.
Okay.
That's why all Muslim sectors joined the Moro National Liberation, because it was pictured as a patriotic act.
Okay.
Now, why it cannot? One reason it cannot, because the people, with due apology, the people from the Zamboanga Peninsula, from Palawan,
Yeah.
Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, do not want to be called Bangsamoro, because they have the ancestral or original national identity known as Bangsasulok people. What does Bangsasulok people means? Bangsasulok people means man on the right path.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Very briefly lang before I go to Ed. So in that sense, if Malaysia is occupying Sabah illegally, hindi ba haram sila?
Haram. As
Haram
far
sila,
as hak is concerned, Brother Ed.
Haram sila?
Yes, as far as hak is concerned, because they are eating na hindi galing sa perspiration nila, hindi nila pagmamayari. So, the judgment is in the life hereafter.
At they're enjoying all the fruits.
Yes.
Yung ano ba yun, Petronas Towers,
Now,
hindi ba sa Sabah din yan?
product of Sabah yan.
So why are they enjoying it?
Now, hindi na ganun ang question ini, Eric. Ang question ngayon, bakit nangyari ang sunod-sunod 3 events
Oo.
in Malaysia? Their airplanes. What happened to that? That is the result of hack of the Muslim and the Filipino people over Sabah.
Okay. So there is divine intervention.
There is divine intervention.
Aid, I will ask you the same question. Because now, we are, the way I see it, we should be on the second phase. We should be moving into this. Because the audience of the MILF think that if they are a separate nation, a separate state, they think they can long survive, separate from the Republic, but subjected to all the political, economic, and military threats.
I believe that's a very, very difficult situation. And ma-appreciate natin yung MILF on that point. They allow themselves to be within the work, within the process.
Okay.
That is why they submitted to Congress the output of the peace talk.
Maraming dayuhang nakikialam? Yes or no?
Oh yes, of course. Yes,
Marami.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Now, with all due respect.
Tatanong ko sa iyo, Aid,
Yeah, yeah.
may problema ba talagang relihiyon sa Mindanao? Ang pagkaalam ko sa Mindanao, ang Kristiyano at Muslim, pwedeng tumira magkatabi eh.
Of course.
Tama?
Of course. Tama
So
yan.
there is no religious problem, hindi ba?
It's not a religious problem. Although,
Pag pinapasukan ng ideolohiya ng dayuhan, nagkakagulo?
yes, of course. Of course. Kaya nga, dapat lang na itong problema, gaya nung, if I may borrow the language